live. Let's go. Let's go, guys. We have a big show for you today. Great show. There's a lot of news happening in MMA, combat sports, influencer boxing. It's going crazy. People are heated. The MMA community is absolutely exploding in vicious backlash, saying you paid the wrong Conor over the fact that Dana White has paid Conor Benn, who most people have never heard of, $15 million, yet Conor McGregor sits on the sidelines. We're going to get into all that. Speaking, what up? We got the chat popping off already. What's up? I see you guys. Hey, we're going to get into the fact that Kamaru Usman, he tweeted out himself versus Conor 2026. And now rumors are spreading that that might be Conor's fight if, in fact, Conor comes back. People are heated that Conor was not on the White House card. They claimed it was going to be the biggest card in human history, and who better to have on the card than the biggest star we've ever had. Unfortunately, he's not on the card, and Conor Benn, who's a boxer most people have never heard of, is making $15 million, which people are up in arms about, guys. We've got Colby Covington, he's claiming to be Trump's favorite fighter. He's not on the White House card. He is absolutely campaigning right now to get on that White House card. He's doing a full media tour, and he is going hard in the paint trying to get a fight at the White House. I'd like to see Colby Covington fight Nate Diaz at the White House. I think that's a fun, awesome fight, especially the lead up where they will be talking to each other and going super hard with all the trash talk. I'm into that. Okay, guys, you could judge me, all right? I'm not here to pretend like I'm Mr. High Ground. You know what I mean? If you subscribe to the channel, you already know. I just say what's on my mind, whether it's popular, unpopular. If it's a hot take, if it's the truth, I'm going to say it, all right? So I'm not here to tell you guys, blow smoke up your ass, put sunshine up your skirt, pat you on the ass, tell you you're a pretty special snowflake. That's not what I'm here for, man. I only want real ones subscribing to the channel. So I want to see Nate Diaz fight Colby Covington at the White House. We're going to get into that. People are asking. The community is asking, why not Sandhagen versus Sugar Sean O'Malley at the White House, right? Then we get two Americans. Either way, we get an American win. And instead, we got Sugar Sean O'Malley versus Firas Zahabi's brother, who, while he's on a 7-fight win streak, dude's Canadian. Man, Canada's not been annexed by America yet, so that guy shouldn't be on the card is what people are saying, guys. Trump is saying that Canada might be the 51st state. That hasn't happened yet. So until that happens, it's a separate country, and, people are confused why Sugar Sean O'Malley is fighting a Canadian instead of Corey Sandhagen, which is what it sounds like. I keep my ear to the streets. That's what it sounds like the people want. Furthermore, in other big celebrity influencer news, Clavicular has announced he's going to do a 30-day, 24/7 live stream. We're going to get into that. And on a brighter note, Dana White announced all the upcoming fights. A lot of them are cool fights, fun fights, but the big fight that I'm excited about is that I am excited about. I'm so excited, I'm not even able to speak right, y'all. Khamzat Chimaev will be facing Sean Strickland for the UFC world title. We're going to get into all that. I train at the same gym as Sean. We are, teammates, even though he goes to the big boy practice and I go to the big man practice, who just happens to be under 155 pounds. That's the practice I go to, okay? I know what you guys are thinking. You're like, dang, dude, this dude looks like he's like 6'7", about 595 pounds of solid muscle. And I'm going to say you're right. But actually, most of my fights are at 155 pounds. So I go to that practice at Extreme Couture. Strickland sometimes pulls up and coaches against me, which is always fun. But we're going to get into that and why everyone at Extreme Couture is picking Strickland to win based on what they saw when Khamzat and Strickland trained together. We're going to get into all that. I told you guys we have a very, very, very big show today. Thank you for everybody who's been subscribing, right? If you guys are my subscribers, you know I keep it extremely real. I have hot takes. You know, I believe Jake Paul is going to beat up Ilia Topuria when they spar. You know, people are upset by that, but that's how I feel. I keep it real with you guys. So if you can handle that, then make sure you subscribe and hit the notifications, because I want to have a dialogue, not just a monologue. Okay, I'm not just here to rant. I can rant, you know. I believe I've proven that if you've been subscribed to my channel. But more importantly than that, I want to have a conversation. I want to connect. You know, I want it to be a conversation. I want to see how you're doing. I want to know what's up with you guys. I want to know how you feel. So make sure you hit the chat. Make sure you have notifications on and you're subscribed so you know when we go live, so you can hop on and be a part of this with me together right now. Let's go. Furthermore, let's pay the bills, y'all. Let's pay the bills. Fight Circus. Shout out to Fight Circus, home of the freak show fights. Okay, guys, they got the craziest fights you've ever seen. Go hit them up on Instagram. They have absolutely bizarre fights. They have fat men fighting each other. They have headbutt, lethway, you know, bare knuckle Muay Thai. They've got men versus transgender fights. They've got little people who prefer to be called midgets. Their words, not mine. Multiple midgets on one-man fights. They've got Bob Sapp in a two-person t-shirt fighting another two-person t-shirt with Rampage Jackson. You know what I mean? Fight Circus, guys, home of the freak show fights. Furthermore, if you know a gym owner, send them to Studio Millions. Studio Millions will absolutely pack their gym first, full of students who pay, stay, and refer, and your coach will absolutely love you for letting them know about it. All right, let's get into the show today, guys. I'm going to take a sip of this Zevia, who does not pay me yet. This is 120 milligrams of caffeine, 0 calories. This is my 4th of the day, so we're a little behind. I'm only about to crack 480 milligrams of caffeine. I'm slacking. I know I tell you guys I'm trying to get to a G a day of caffeine, right? I'm saying all this, and now I got to live up to it, right? And I'm slacking. I know I'm behind, guys. I don't mean to let you down, okay? I'm going to get there. We're just getting there today, okay? So in our first big story of the day, the MMA community is absolutely exploding in vicious backlash, saying you paid the wrong Conor over this Dana White paying Conor Ben $15 million situation while Conor McGregor sits on the sidelines. And this story is more complex than people get. I even heard Brendan Schaub ranting about it, that they gave Conor Ben $15 million and no one knows who he is. Meanwhile, Conor McGregor is on the sidelines saying yes to everybody. As much as that narrative is fun, the big billionaires aren't paying the guy. Like, I get that, right? I want Conor McGregor to make all the money. I want John Jones to make all the money. I want the UFC to do well. I want everybody to win, right? But the fact of the matter is that it's the Saudi Arabian Prince Sheikh dudes, right, who put up the $15 million for the Conor Ben fight because they want to do boxing with Dana White, right? So essentially, they want to have a boxing company. They've got big bucks. They're putting up the money, and they're like, hey, Dana, we don't really know how to throw fights, but we'll put up the money. Just go sign these guys. And then Dana's like, okay, right? So that, in a way, has nothing to do with MMA. It has nothing to do with the UFC other than that's, you know, Dana White is the head dude on both of them. The issue with the UFC is that they've got $7 billion coming to them. And, you know, Conor's on the sidelines, right? So I think where a lot of, and this is a learning lesson if you know anybody that fights MMA, where a lot of these guys get it twisted is they are looking to get paid based on past work they've put in, right? The issue is the UFC is trading these dudes like baseball cards because that's kind of the business of MMA at the highest level. They're not looking for like, hey, I know you've put in a lot of work and we're going to reward you for that. They're looking at like, hey, you've put in a lot of work. We've paid you over the course of your career. And now we need to pay this guy, but we need to make him a star, right? So we're going to use you. In pro wrestling, it's called jobbing, right? You do the job, which means you lose. It's called putting him over. And my uncle's Hulk Hogan, right? So I'm an expert on the subject of pro wrestling. And what they do in that is they never let the champ go without putting over the next champ. And in a lot of ways, UFC is the same. So, you know, they're not in the business of Conor going out, winning his next fight, KOing Nate Diaz, and then becoming a free agent and then going to MVP and fighting Jake Paul for $100 million, right? Like, that doesn't benefit the UFC. So the UFC is being very, very shrewd, and people are upset. But, like, put yourself in Dana's position. Okay. You met Brooke Hogan? You got the same name as me or as her? As me or as her? Or the last name or the first name? We need specifics around here, guys. Hey, but yeah, so in WWE, the former champ or the current champ puts over the new champ, right? And so when my uncle was at the peak of his career, the big problem was that there was an up-and-coming dude named Ultimate Warrior. And Ultimate Warrior was the next big thing. My uncle believed Ultimate Warrior, rest in peace, was what he called, my uncle's words, a flash in the pan, right? Which means he's hot right now, but he's going to be not hot in a minute. Whereas my uncle had already had like a 15-year run, and he's a proven commodity. So he told this to Vince. Vince said, we're going with Warrior. They put the belt on Warrior. The Warrior literally walks in the back and goes, hey, I want a pay raise. I want $1 million each time. And then it's like, whoa, dude, what? And now he's trying to bust Vince McMahon's balls. They got to get the belt off Warrior. They got to get it back on my uncle because he's a company guy. And then they got to keep running up new stars so that when my uncle does peace out, you know what I mean, and he's moving on to the next chapter in his career, then they've got the next guy built. But it wasn't the Ultimate Warrior. And same thing here. Like, who are they going to build next? Who's the next star that they can have Conor fight? Because they got to pay Conor big money. Unless Conor wants to fight for less money, right? Which he doesn't want to do. The same problem with Jon Jones. Jon Jones wants big money. And they're like, hey, Jon, you've literally told us you're going to win this next fight, which we believe you're going to do. So Jon Jones' situation is even more complex because it's not like Conor where they can give Conor a bad matchup and, hey, Conor's probably going to lose and put our guy over, our next big star. Jon Jones probably isn't going to lose. Even if he fights Tom Aspinall. Again, this is what I'm saying. Don't subscribe if you can't handle the true hot takes. Jon Jones will beat Tom Aspinall if they fight. That's my take. If you're into that, you like when I keep it real, then maybe the subscription button is the place to be. Maybe the notifications should be on. But if you can't handle that, then don't subscribe. I don't want you around, right? If you want me just to tell you what you want to hear, that Tom Aspinall. So Jon Jones is kind of on the same wave as my uncle was, which is, hey, I beat these guys before. There's always this new hot prospect. I beat everybody. These guys that you told me were going to be the next guy, right? They lose, and then all of a sudden everybody's like, that guy sucked anyway. He would have never beat Jon Jones. And Jon's feelings are kind of that's what Tom Aspinall was. So Jon took a backseat for a minute, right? Wanted to get some footage on Tom Aspinall to make sure that his gut instinct was right. And in the meantime, Tom Aspinall fights Ciryl Gane. Doesn't look like a world beater, okay? Now Jon Jones is interested in coming back. He wants to beat up Alex Pereira, but they need him to fight Tom Aspinall. The problem is he might beat Tom Aspinall and bounce with the belt. So that doesn't help the UFC. So what's the UFC to do? Pay him $30 million a fight to keep beating up their up-and-coming stars when they know he's not going to fight forever because he's literally said he wants to do one more and be done? And even if that's a negotiation tactic, then that's code word for I want to do one more, pretend to retire again, and then you pay me even more money, right? Now that's setting a precedent for everybody else, and now it's getting out of control. And I'm not saying that's what they should or shouldn't do. I'm just saying from a business perspective, it's like, at what point is enough enough? And I think that's where Dana and the UFC are with it, is that they're like, hey, man, we got to get this under control because these other dudes, the MVPs of the worlds, the Misfits boxings of the worlds, these boxing promotions, they're overpaying. They're paying these dudes hundreds of millions of dollars, and then they're trying to scramble and get the next paycheck to pay the next guy, right? And every fight is it going out of business sale for them. Yeah, and that's kind of how Dana White views it, right? So now to add complexity to the Conor McGregor situation, Kamaru Usman wants a big fight, right? But Kamaru Usman's another one of those guys who's good enough to beat the up-and-coming dudes, right? But is he the guy you're going to build the title on? Is he the guy that's going to reign champion, right? Is he the next wave? They're trying to find the next wave. And right now, Kamaru Usman wants to fight Conor McGregor. I like that fight. That's an interesting fight to me. I think Kamaru will shoot on Conor. I think Conor showed a lot of great defense against takedowns against Khabib. Like, he counter wrestled and made it harder for Khabib to take him down than people thought it would be. Now, Khabib obviously got him down. Can Kamaru do the same, right? People would say Kamaru's kind of big. He's a big 70-pounder. Conor's going up in weight. You know, that fight to me is interesting, man. I want to see Conor back. I want to see Kamaru Usman back. And speaking of people who fought Kamaru Usman, we've got Colby Covington adding himself to the mix, talking about he should be on the White House card. Now, the big drama here is that Bo Nickel is going hard on Colby Covington. As early as today, Bo saying he hasn't even signed the contract to fight Dukakis. Okay, so Bo saying, Colby, if you want the fight, we can do the fight. I haven't signed anything yet. And Colby saying, I'll fight anybody, man. I'll fight. I just want to be on the White House card. Well, these two stories don't add up, y'all. Who's telling the truth? But if you're Colby, right, who's not the biggest 170-pounder, right, you're a little bit more experienced in your career. You're kind of not as young and spry as you used to be. Now you're going to go up in weight and fight the top prospect in the whole game, the number one dude that the UFC is betting the freaking house on. Man, to get an uphill battle at the White House, can you imagine being Colby Covington? Talking all that about you're Trump's favorite fighter, Trump this, Trump that, MAGA, right? Like, and then you're not on the White House card? Dude, he must be gutted. He must be absolutely gutted. And the UFC's counterpoint is fight Bo. Yeah, and that's how cutthroat the business is, guys. Now, to me, as a fan, well, now we got American versus American, and American's going to win. Although, whatever, right? Like, I would say Colby would be a huge underdog in that fight. And I would like to see Colby, they just toss him a bone, man. But that's not the business we're in, guys. We're not in the tossing guys a bone business. We're in, hey, putting him in the hardest fight possible, and the cream's going to rise to the top business. People shit on Sugar Sean O'Malley. And even this is the issue with the Corey Sandhagen fight. People are saying they want to see Sandhagen versus Sugar Sean O'Malley. And I do too, because it's American versus American. But when you really look at it, right? Sandhagen fought Peter Yan. Sandhagen also fought Aljamain Sterling. So those are common opponents that he has with Sugar Sean O'Malley. He lost to both of them. Sugar Sean O'Malley beat both of them. So in Suge's head, it's like, dude, I get you want to fight me. Everybody wants to fight me. I'm the Sugar Show. But like, we've got common opponents. You lost to both of them. I beat both of them. What are we doing here, dude? The UFC is trying to see who's going to be the next title contender. They've got Zahabi, who's on a 7-fight win streak, and me. If I spark this dude, I'm next. I'm going to rematch Peter Yan, and I beat him before. If you come in here and fight, the odds are going to be that you're probably going to lose to me because you've already, you know what I mean? And then people are going to say that they're giving me easy fights. And that's not necessarily what the UFC is in the business of. Not to say Corey Sandhagen is an easy fight for anybody, but if you look at their history, Sandhagen has not, as of yet, had a high of a ceiling as Sugar Sean O'Malley has. And then it could look like, to the outside observer, that they're trying to give Suge beneficial matchups. And the crazy part is, when you're in Suge's position, as someone who main events cards, right? Obviously, not the UFC quite yet, but, the main event, everybody's got an opinion. And no matter who you fight, they're like, oh, it's a great matchup for you. Like, oh, they're trying to build you. So I've got a similar issue where I speak well. I do crazy post-fight speeches. And they're like, oh, they're trying to give you easy matchups. No, bro, they're bringing me into these cities to lose. You think they wanted me to have this belt? The dude I fought sold like 5,000 tickets. Every person there knew that guy. That guy is the celebrity star fighter of his town. He's got the whole city on his back. They're flying me in to lose. And oftentimes, no matter who they give you, the public doesn't understand. You still got to win those fights. So Sugar Sean O'Malley has beat Peter Yan before, who's the current UFC champion. He's beat Aljo, who was the 135-pound GOAT, and Sandhagen has lost to both of them. So honestly, on paper, what do you want him to do? Okay, now let's just say we just throw it all out and just go, hey man, forget the guy who's on a 7-fight win streak. It's the White House card. We're just going to have Americans fight, which is what I want, right? But I'm not in charge of building the sport. I'm just trying to build this card to be the greatest American showcase in human history. And, the more I think about it, I went on a huge rant. America is cooked about the White House card and how we're just going to get, mollywopped at the White House, unfortunately. And as great as that card would be if it was not at the White House, I'm very pro-America, and I would like to see Americans just absolutely dominate. We were promised we were going to win so much we would get tired of winning, so let's let the winning start. Let's put Colby Covington on the card against Nate Diaz and watch Colby just get his swan song, his final goodbye. He can go in there, beat up Nate Diaz, maybe. Dude, let's go. Let's get crazy, man. That last BMF wasn't anything, bro. That was a takedown. It was a dominant, impressive performance. But for the BMF, strip Charles Oliveira of the BMF. And it's Colby Covington, Nate Diaz, BMF at the White House. That's what I'm trying to see, guys. Maybe I'm fired up. Maybe I love America. Maybe I love the American dream too much. Maybe that's my problem. Okay? Maybe I just want to see good things for good people. Honest, hardworking Americans, catching a break. Maybe that's what I want to see. Am I wrong? Is it wrong to be strong? Maybe I like a strong country. I like setting a precedent. I like our best fighters winning. Call me crazy, guys. So that's the fight I would like to see. BMF title, strip it from Oliveira, Colby Covington versus Nate Diaz, 170 pounds, White House card, featured bout of the night. Let's freaking go. Then we have 3 title fights on the card, and they can still make the fight. The problem is Nate Diaz wants a whole boatload of cash. And the UFC's like, dude, you're past your prime. You got some name value, but we're trying, okay, fight Hamzat Chimaev, bro. That fight didn't go down, okay? The fans objected to that fight. So that's what they want. They would prefer to do that. Hey, can we build some new stars? You've had your run. You've made some dough. We'll pay you some money, but you got to put our new guys over. Anyway, White House card, I would like to see a little bit of a leeway, man. Let's get Colby on there. Let's get Nate Diaz on there. BMF. Charles Oliveira has to sit this one out, man. I get it, dude. Those were awesome body lock, foot sweep takedowns. You had total dominance. You had great positioning. You did what you had to do to win. But we're taking the BMF belt, man. Listen, I got a whole other video I'm about to do. It's called New BMF Rules. And we're going to, together, for those of you that are subscribed and have the notifications on, hop on the live with me, and we're going to rewrite the BMF rules together. I've got a whole plan in my head. I've got 3 big rules. I've got 3 big rules for the BMF. This is going to blow your mind, and I think this will get us the result we want when there is a BMF title. We can do this together. I'm literally going to put these together. We're going to join. I'm going to get your feedback. We're going to solidify these, and then we're going to start putting these out as the unwritten rules of the BMF title. That video is coming very soon. Very soon. I'm going to get the chat set up right so I can actually chat with you guys better, because right now it's disappearing on the screen. I got the monitor behind me. I got to order a whole new monitor. I got a Mac Mini, guys. All right. You know what I'm saying? High powered, very aesthetic. But the monitor I have has a webcam, but it doesn't have a mic. Okay? Right? So I'm gonna freaking smash that one and set it on fire. Okay? Just maybe I'll go live on Instagram or something. You know what I mean? Or maybe I'll do a reel about that on my IG. My IG's got 21K followers right now, and some of the views on there are in the millions. But That's neither here nor there because this channel is where I'm spending all my time now. I'm going live every single day. So if you rock with me, if you're a real one, you already know that because you're already subscribed and you already got notifications on. That's how I know if you're a real one. Okay, and I want real ones only. We're gonna build the strongest community on here, right? And there's room for everybody. I'm gonna need admins soon. I'm gonna need editors soon. I'm gonna need people to collab with. Listen, man, we're doing it all here, okay? And speaking of people that are going hard AF in the paint, Clavicular just announced he's doing a 30-day live stream, 24/7 on Kick Live, man. And say what you want about Clavicular, the dude's putting in work, okay? I disagree with him about looks maxing. I think looks are they're like a nice bonus, right? But I don't think they're the number one thing. In fact, here's a rule for life, guys. A rule for life that we can learn from observing Clavicular's behavior. Let me take a sip of this caffeinated beverage. Cheers to everybody else that has a caffeine connoisseur complex like I do. Shout out to you guys. If you guys like to be highly caffeinated, you're my people, okay? I fuck with you. I already know, guys. Okay, so what life lesson can we take from Clavicular? Clavicular preaches looks maxing, but he money and status maxes in his actions. So he speaks about look maxing, and he even self-admittedly has stopped looks maxing to pursue money and status. Now, when he was max looks, he didn't have the reception from women, the community online, any of that. He had the same maxed out looks, yet he still preaches looks maxing, while his actions are status and money maxing. So if that's all you knew and you followed his actions, then what would be the conclusion that you came to based on that? Well, if you're like me, then you have come to the conclusion that he, despite him telling the people what they want to hear, which is looks matter, go looks max, because that's popular and that's trending, his actions indicate what's actually important is status and money maxing to get the results in the fields that he wants to get results in, right? And if you want similar results, then maybe do what the dude's doing instead of what the dude's saying. And that's what I mean when I'm saying I'm not here to blow smoke up your ass, right? These dudes are telling people what they want to hear, right? That's why I'm different, okay? I'm not for everybody. But if you want the truth, if you want to go by actions instead of words, if you want to see what people are actually doing, if you want the words and the actions to match instead of being different, well, then you're in the right place, okay? So that's what we can learn from Clavicular's behavior. And I'm I'm doing a video on this one too, because he's so freaking wrong about looks maxing, guys. I mean, you guys see me. God gave me this jawline. I'm in the lucky parents club. I'm in the lucky sperm club, guys. This is thanks to my parents. You know, I'm just born like this. I just wake up like this. This isn't me maxing my looks. This is just me being me. You know, I used to be 242 pounds, guys. I can tell you, you know, lean maxing is important. I can tell you being handsome is important, but as handsome as you guys are, you guys are like, you're easy for you to say you're like a 11 out of 10. I'm like, I know. But what I'm saying is charisma is more important, guys. Status is more important, right? Accomplishments are more important. Competency is more important. Confidence is more important. I have a whole course coming out called Godlike Confidence because it's the master key to everything. It's the freaking master key to everything. Want better relationships? Be more confident. Want a better social life? Be more confident. You want to get ahead in life? Be more confident. You want to do all that stuff you know you're capable of, but you've been holding back on because you've been waiting for it to be perfect? Be more confident. You'll take more action. Anyways, guys, on a better note than all this doom and gloom, the future is looking bright. We've got Khamzat Chimaev fighting Sean Strickland. It's official. My teammate Sean Strickland is going to beat up Khamzat Chimaev, the boogeyman, And everyone at Extreme Couture agrees with me. There's some stuff that happened at Extreme Couture that Strickland has publicly talked about. So this isn't me putting Strickland's news on blast, guys. This isn't me talking about what happens in the training room. Strickland and Eric Nixick have both co-signed that when Hamzat came to Extreme Couture, Strickland made Hamzat quit. This is, in so many people's estimation, the worst possible matchup for Hamzat. His toughest fight, because Strickland counter wrestles and defensively wrestles well. Plus, Strickland has a gas tank. People say that Hamzat's biggest problem is his gas tank. And if he has to shoot and reshoot and Strickland keeps wrestling up over the course of 5 rounds, Strickland's awkward style is going to start to get to Hamzat. Hamzat's going to panic wrestle. Strickland's going to start stuffing shots and popping back to his feet. Hamzat's going to gas. Strickland's going to take over, and Strickland's going to overwhelm him. But that's insider information about what people at my gym who train with Strickland are saying. What Strickland is saying publicly and what our coaches are saying publicly, right? I want to know what you guys think, right? Can Strickland gas out Hamzat? Or is he going to get wrestle fucked? I don't think he's going to get wrestle fucked. I've seen him go with a lot. We have like Olympic wrestlers at Extreme Couture. We don't have like, I mean, we have these too. Like, hey man, I was like, 4th at the state qualifier in high school, right? Like we got guys like that. And we also have literal Olympians at Extreme Couture. We've got world champions from all organizations, all weight classes coming in. I've rarely ever, I don't even remember a time I've seen Strickland lose a round, let alone in exchange. Man, we do a lot of bad positions at Extreme Couture. We have a lot of bad positional work. We're starting with dudes body locked, got you belly down, hand on the back of your head, and they're teeing off on your ears, and it's like, go. And you got to get out from bottom. It's crazy. They'll start with Habib wrist ride. We call that an American wrist ride. American folk style wrestling, wrist ride, American wrist ride, and American jiu-jitsu, as one of our coaches, Jake Shields, has named it, American jiu-jitsu, which is wrestling with, jiu-jitsu. When you got a figure 4 around the knees and a wrist ride against the cage, and that's how the person on top is starting, and the person on bottom has to fight up, and we're going live, and all the rounds are bad positions like that. Start in a fully locked triangle. Start in a triangle, a leg triangle, around your knees, mounted with the person with a wrist ride, American wrist ride. Start with the dude on your back with a body lock. Start belly down. Start in referee's position, except the guy's got both boots in and he's got double underhooks under your armpits. Start there. That's how we do it at Extreme Couture. Speaking of which, I got to go strangle some people tonight, y'all. I got to go to Advanced Nogi. I got to represent my dude Bryce. He runs Desert Duels, which is a great organization that they have a lot of veterans and active duty service members competing in grappling matches there. So shout out to Bryce. I'm going to go pop into his class. A couple days ago, we had 6 black belts on the mat. That's the type of work I like to get. Unfortunately, Felony Charles Bennett will not be with me at Extreme Couture tonight. We were supposed to spar. Listen, man, players play, guys. Players play. Listen, when you're out here, you're getting 16 million views. People want your company, right? Okay, so Felony's got other plans. Okay, so we're gonna call it tonight a rest night. We're gonna get right back at it tomorrow or Monday. As far as me, I like to train every day. I like to train multiple classes a day. I'm popping into Extreme Couture. I gotta get some more caffeine though, guys. It's important. I like caffeine in combat. That's what I like, right? You guys can like whatever you like. You're free to do that. It's America. It's a free country. Me, this is what I enjoy. Caffeine and combat. 2 of my favorite things. All right. So we covered a lot so far. We've covered the vicious backlash about signing or paying the wrong Conor. We got into that. $15 million to a dude most people have never heard of. Sounds crazy. it's Saudi Arabian money, so that kind of makes it make more sense in a way. We talked Kobe Covington. We talked Kamara Usman. We talked, man, why not Sandhagen versus Sugar Sean O'Malley? We talked clavicular, man. We got into it all, okay? Now I'm going to go strangle some people. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell, but only if you're a real one. And tomorrow's show is going to go crazy. I've got a couple different subjects that I'm thinking about. And I might do the whole looks maxing is a lie video. Okay, I might do that video. I might do a whole video breaking down what I would do if I was Jake Paul. I might do the whole let's redo the White House card together. We'll match make together. But what I think I'm going to do tomorrow is if you guys are down and you guys hop on the live with me, then together I've got 3 templates we can already start from, and we're going to rewrite the BMF rule set, right? So if anybody fights for the BMF moving forward collectively as a community, we're going to start enacting these rules on our own. I'm going to give you a hint. One of the rules involves booing, okay? So we're going to boo takedowns. But not just, but if someone in a 5-round fight, we're going to boo the first takedown, we're going to boo the second takedown. And if they shoot 3 times, then we just don't stop booing. Okay? That's going to be one of the rules that I'm going to propose to you guys. I want you guys to work it out with me. I've got 2 more rules in mind for the BMF title. And together we can have an unwritten BMF rule set that the community agrees on. We can make this work. I believe in you guys. I'm out here to put some big changes into the MMA community. I think we can do it together. I believe in you. I know what's possible out here. And guys, make sure you tune in tomorrow because I'm pretty sure that's what we're going to do. The new BMF rule set. I love you guys. I'm going to go strangle people. Good night.